So I always teach people, it's just like, yo, if you want to succeed in life, you got to measure, right? Because without measuring things, we don't make progress.
Hey, what's going down, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Connections Hub podcast. So, we bring on a guest who's going to teach you a tip or a trick that can help you grow your business. But I'm super excited about this episode because I don't only have a great guest, I also have Victoria joining us again today. If you guys remember, Victoria was on episode 1. She's a director of communications here at Jha Allen LLC. So, Victoria, you got anything to say before we get started?
Yeah, thanks, Jha, for having me back on again. I really enjoyed our first episode, and I'm excited to interview Ben today. So let's get it started.
Victoria, you already giving it away. Now they know it's Ben.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. No, I'm just kidding. No, but let's jump right into it. So, like you heard, we got Ben on the podcast with us. So, Ben, let us know who you are and what it is that you do.
My name is Ben Bakayoko. I'm originally from Ivory Coast. That's like West Africa, but I immigrated to the U.S. when I was like 2 years old. Graduated summa cum laude from undergrad, got an MBA degree, but I was stuck working a 9-to-5 that was only paying me $45K a year. And I was stuck there, but I always wanted to be a coach or a trainer, but I just could never get my footing. Like I didn't know who to coach. I was that guy that was saying I could coach everybody, and I just wasn't getting paid. And I finally started getting paid. So now what I do is I help people quit their job so they can coach full time. And I got 5 steps for anybody that wants to go through that process. And my goal over the next year is to help 100 coaches earn their first 100K from their coaching clients.
Oh, that's nice. That's
I
nice.
love that.
You're already talking spicy. So
Yes.
I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. So, Ben, but what got you into coaching? What ultimately made you say, hey, I want to be a coach?
Oh man, great question. I wanted to be a speaker initially. And that started in college because I was a kid with a low self-esteem, right? I'm from West Africa and I grew up in New York. So I was called everything from, my last name is Bakayoko. That was like, yo, Ben Bakayoko, like the Pokemon, right? They used to call me an African booty scratcher. They used to say I stink and smell like spices. I just felt as though I could never get a girl. Like I just felt like a loser. Like I felt as though I ain't had no friends or nothing. And then I got to college, man, and I started to get into the right environments. And I remember seeing Nigerians. They was cool as hell, but they were still African. I was just like, yo, if they could be cool, I could be cool too. Like, what's up? Right? And then after that, I remember in college every week on a Tuesday and a Thursday, they'd have a motivational speaker come through. And I was just like, yo, what these people are doing is powerful, man. And I just started to study personal growth work and stuff like that. And I'm just like, yo, I want to be able to do for people what these people have done for me. And that's when I set the goal to be a speaker and then eventually a coach.
No, that's definitely powerful. It's powerful. And it's funny you say that. It is like it's like everybody want to be a Nigerian. Even people that's not Nigerian is saying they Nigerian. It's a whole different spectrum. I heard you shout out New York. I'm surprised Victoria didn't stop you in your tracks. Up there,
All right, New York pride.
But no, like I said, that's powerful. And I wanted to know, just based off of what you've been doing. I know you say everything started in college, but leaving college and now transitioning into this coach and leaving your job, what gave you the motivation, or where in this process was it like, okay, it's time to take that leap, I know I can do it?
Oh man. So for me, the thing that made me the leap into coaching or the leap into quitting my job.
Well, it sounds like, did you leave the job and then go right into coaching, or what was that journey or that process?
Okay, so say I've been coaching for the past 2 years, right? Last year was my first full year as a coach, and I made about $7,000. I was geeked about the 7K, right? And I was geeked about that 7K. I was just like, yo, I'm really just getting started. Because before I was just one of my coaches or mentors is just like, yo, you're a social mediapreneur, a contentpreneur or something like that. So for the
Content.
past 5 years, I was just YouTube series, Instagram quotes and all that stuff, just going live. But I wasn't getting nobody interested in working with me or anything like that. But last year, I got a program together, I got a structure together, and I was charging people a whopping $100 an hour. I was just like, I'm geek with the 100. Like somebody would pay me $100. I started at 25 though. All right. But then it got to a point, and this is what I really help coaches figure out, where I was just like, in January of this year, COVID happened. I was just like, yo, I made $7,000 coaching. Shit, people paying me. All right. And then in January, I upped my prices to 150 and they still paid me. I'm like, I'm on to something now. But that was around the same time I realized, like, yo, I never wanted to keep my job, but I never set a definitive date to leave my job. In January this year, I remember I was working with my accountant. It was just like, yo, how everything going? I was just like, yo, cool. And then it just came out of me. I was just like, yo, COVID has been really nice. I've been able to focus on my business a whole lot. And by January, I'm either leaving. I mean, by August, I'm either out of there or I'm gonna at least be doing it part-time, which means I was confident enough in what I had to offer that I was willing to say, yo, by August, I'm out. And when I made that decision, things started to really shift for me this year when I was just like, I'm not going back. My job around that time, I said I was doing customer service for Uber. I said Uber, for Subaru of America. Mm-hmm. And what they were saying is, COVID, we got to work from home and that was so good. I got to spend so much time with my wife and kids. I'm just like, I can't go back to an office. And they were just like, yo, we're going to have to do mandatory Saturdays. Like you're going to have to be working 6 days a week. And they're already overworking me. I'm just like, I'm not going back. So I got to figure out this coaching thing before y'all request that I go back. So I figured it out. Yeah.
Thanks. That's powerful. And Victoria, I know you had a few things that you wanted to ask. Feel free to take it over.
Yeah, no, I resonate so much with that. Those small gains are big gains when you're in the beginning stages. I mean, if you heard mine and Jha's story before, where we started off, it was like she would send me little text and like $50 a month. She'd be like, can you just edit this text for me? So, and I'm like, yeah, $50 to do that? Sure, why not? And, so I totally resonate with that. So those small gains still are so massive when you're in the beginning stages of your journey. So it's really incredible to hear, kind of that starting from the bottom story. And yeah, so I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that's good. I love it.
No, for sure, Ben, for sure. So I wanted to ask, is there a certain type of coach that you focus on, or are you working with just, it seems like for one, it's a lot of coaching, coaches coming out, you see coaches everywhere. So what type of coach do you work with? Because you can be a coach of anything.
Yeah, so the type of coach I work with, so because I was this person, right? I help people that are overworked, underpaid, and overwhelmed with an advanced degree. From coaching their friends and family for free to being able to charge a premium price for their coaching services, because that's how they make enough money to actually quit their job and then coach full-time.
Right, because naturally somebody at that level is probably, they might not be making the money that they deserve, but they are in a certain bracket to where, like anybody's like, oh, is this thing going to work out and cover my bills? Or they're kind of in that level of where it definitely makes sense. Is there a process where you're walking someone at this level through the type of coach that they should be looking into? Or is it like they're coming to you once they already have this figured out? When should they come to you?
So when should somebody come to me if they're interested in one, charging a premium price for their coaching program, but more seriously, leaving their job so they could coach full time what they love, doing what they love? Yeah. The answer is as soon as possible, right? And I have 5 steps to walk them through. Like when somebody comes to me that's like, yo, I have multiple degrees. Like, guys, I had an MBA degree and I still didn't feel as though, like, I paid upwards of 6 figures for that degree, but I was scared to charge somebody $100 or $150 for coaching, no less $3,000, which I could do effortlessly now, because a lot of times when we think of coaching, we think of just coaching the people around us. our family and friends, or maybe our coworkers, but we aren't thinking about the people out in the world that really need what we have to offer.
Right. No.
So we never really think about putting a program together.
Right.
Or we're not thinking about how much money we need to earn. So the first step that I actually take people through that want to start a coaching business is just like, yo, how do you find more time and energy to grow your business? Because what's really happening with people as they work these jobs, they're getting burnt out, they're getting stressed, and they're trying to grow this business, but they always feel as though they don't have enough time. So I'm just like, yo, how do we simplify that process so you get more time and enjoy the process of growing your coaching business? So I literally take them to an elaborate process, really figuring out where their time is going and what's going to be worth their time moving forward.
No, and
Right.
that's really, really good. And really, and Victoria, again, don't allow me to take it. I'm actually take the next one so I don't feel like I'm
Yes,
bullying.
yes. No, I did have a question because you did mention how your coaching kind of started in the midst of COVID, or that's just kind of when it opened up. So do you feel like the whole COVID situation, did that just open up a veil for people who are realizing like, okay, I'm being burnt out, I need to get out, I want to spend more time with my family and my kids. So do you feel like COVID kind of accelerated that process into pushing more coaches out, and also opening up that door for you to start your coaching business?
Yeah. For me personally, it gave me a glimpse of what life could look like if I wasn't going to a 9 to 5 every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I want this. Like, I don't know if this happened to everybody, but I literally got closer to my wife. I literally got closer to my kids. Right. And I was just like, yo, wow, this is a beautiful feeling. I can't imagine having to drive to work every day and then come back. And that's another problem that I have identified that some coaches that want to go ahead and coach full time have. It's just like, for me as well, I didn't have enough time to work out. I was just like, yo, I can't worship my God the way that I want to worship my God. I can barely spend time with my family, and I'm trying to grow a business, and I'm doing this 9 to 5, plus I'm working overtime. How do I fit all of this stuff in? Plus plus I'm scared to charge what I'm worth. What makes this worth it?
No,
Right, absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah.
What's something that you feel someone can do that's listening and might be in the same position? What's the first step? Because we understand that, of course, the big leap is finally saying, hey, I'm done putting my date and this is where I'm starting. But the first step might even be just putting a date on when you say, hey, I'm going to end this. But besides putting a date on when you're leaving and you're kind of calling it quits with the job, what's another first step that someone can take in this position?
So remember, that first step was really fine, getting that more time and energy. Because most of us, like, let's be real, after our 9 to 5, we're pooped, right? We're stressed, we're frustrated. And especially if you try to do it, if you're out here trying to do it on your own, one of the things that I've identified with the people that I work with, like I call it like 3 lanes, where it's just like you're somebody that's just starting off, so you don't even know what to expect from business. Like, you're just excited and you think you can figure out everything on your own. So it's just like you're not even considering a coach, right? And then there's that second type of person. All right, maybe they're posting content consistently. Maybe they even have email marketing and all that stuff going on, and they're at a point where it's just like, yo, I've put enough skin in the game, but I don't want to do a coach. Like, I still think I could Google information and be good. I still think I could watch stuff on YouTube and still be good. But once you get enough of that, you get to a point where you're in like massive pain. It's just like, yo, where's all my money going? Where are all these clients going? And then you start to have that self-doubt and that frustration. And that's when you're looking for a coach and you're ready to pay. All right. Because you're just like, where's my money going? Where's my time going? Where do I find all the people? And that's where I step in and really start to analyze everything that's going on in your life and in your business. And we start with your time and how you're using your time and your energy, right? And then after that, what most people don't consider, the first conversation I have with people is just like, yo, how much money do you want to make from this over the next year? Most coaches is like, yo, I just want to go help people. I'm just like, yo, just helping people don't pay the bills, right? So we want to be clear on how much money you want to make, right? And I actually go very far. In our initial conversation, I just talk to them about how much money they want to make. But long term, once you get into the program, we actually get clear on how much money you need to be financially secure, meaning take care of all your living expenses, then financially independent, meaning take care of all your living expenses plus everything you want to do. And then how do you become absolutely financially independent? absolute financial freedom. That's where, how do I make enough money to do what I want, when I want, as much as I want, with whoever I want, give away as much money as I want without ever having to work again. So we find out what that number is. And then we had to decide how many clients you need and how much you need to charge in order to hit that number over the next few years.
Right. So you kind of take them through the entire process and you just continue to build with them.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay.
No, that's good. And just taking it back, because somebody just thinking about a customer avatar, thinking about who ideally this person would look like. If they're working at a higher level or at a certain level, they probably have a family, have kids. They probably at a certain level when it comes to age. So they're not no longer kids. They probably are established and things of that nature. So how, and Victoria worded it really well. She had like a question already ready for something like this, but that time when it comes to kids, you mentioned you have kids, you mentioned you have the family, you have all these different things that someone in the same situation would have. So how can I balance that time and also putting it into really making that, what do you call it, abundance of what I think I'm worth?
Yeah, so yep, I'm telling you, man, the process that I use is so freaking amazing, especially in that first step, because that's where we talk about the more time and energy. Where it's just like, yeah, we have work and then we have our kids, but a lot of times because we're so drained by what's going on at work, we're so drained with the kids, we actually have a lot more time than we expect, but it doesn't feel like it because we're not managing it. So I always teach people, it's just like, yo, if you want to succeed in life, you got to measure, right? Because without measuring things, we don't make progress, right? So I teach my clients, the moment you stop measuring is the moment when you stop measuring, that's the moment you stop improving. And when you stop improving, you automatically go backwards. And most people really don't measure where their time is going and how effectively it's being produced. So I have these things called zones, where it's just like, yo, the one zone is just like, these are distractions, right? This is where you go when you spend most of your time in that area of distraction, what you're telling yourself in the world. And a lot happens subconsciously because we don't have clear goals. We're giving our time to our immediate gratifications. Like, I just want to get through the day. I'm so burnt out, right? That's when we're just watching TV when we go home, right? Or we're giving into the demands of other people because we feel as though, like, I have nothing else to do. So sure, I could give you a ride there. Sure, I could help you with this project. Sure, I could do some more overtime, because we're not thinking about our goals and how it's affecting us. So we're really not managing that area. So those are the distractions. And then we got things in the area of delusion, certain things we delude ourselves into thinking we have to do, but it's not making us any product. It's not giving us any progress. So that's like me when I thought, like, I had to post like 6 times a day on social media, do all these Facebook and Instagram lives, and do YouTube series at the same time, like doing 5 things, and I still don't even know who my ideal client is. I'm just throwing stuff at the wall. Right. So identify how much time you're spending in that area, and then demands, where it's just like, because you didn't really prepare yourself in advance, it's just like every day, it's like you're putting out a fire, whether at work, whether at your kids. It's just like you're just jumping the gun every single day. You never get a moment to rest. You never get a moment to reflect. Like, I literally remember, it's just like back in the day. Now, I wake up maybe 4 a.m., 5 a.m. and stuff like that, but I enjoy my day and I don't have to take the kids to school until like 8 o'clock. Before, I remember jumping out of bed, hurry up, taking a shower, rush the kids, go there. I'm screaming at the kids, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, because I'm so tired and burnt out, right? And then I come back at home just like, yo, babe, I can't help you for nothing. Like, I'm so tired. I just want to sleep, watch some TV. Like, that was literally my life, because I didn't have everything in order, because you want to focus on that zone of fulfillment that I like to teach people about, where it's just like, yo, what do you need to do to fuel you? Like, yo, what type of exercise you want to do, what type of morning routine that you want to do to make sure that you're good, because you can't pour into other people if you're mentally unstable.
It comes from that you can't pour from an empty cup. I think that's one of the famous ones. So no, I definitely I resonate with that. I actually I'm starting to, on that note, really pay attention to morning routines, like paying attention to what is it that I did this morning that allows me to feel this good right now? Why do I feel so good? really being cognizant of how do I feel, slowing down to actually intake what's going on to really understand, okay, I did this, this, and this. This is why I feel like this. I need to do more of this, 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 and this daily to feel like this every single day. So no, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. Being
Yeah,
in
definitely. Those were some great gems. So anybody who's listening, I'm telling you, those were the gem drops right there. And I'm just curious. So with your clients, I mean, you probably mentioned some of these possible answers, but with your clients, what is the main hurdle that you see they're facing that they have to jump over? I know you just mentioned quite a few, but what would you say is like the main one that a lot of clients come to you to kind of get over?
Yeah, man. Off the bat, they're coming like, yo, I want to do this coaching thing, but I don't think it could work.
Mm.
I want to charge, but I don't think people are going to pay.
It's like disbelief.
yeah.
Is the
Wow.
Yeah, that's the first hurdle.
How do you how do I get over that? Like that's the hurt. How do I overcome something like that?
Yeah.
Boy,
Yeah.
coach me.
Yeah, man. So we overcome that by really looking at the facts. Because usually when we have these beliefs, these thoughts, and these feelings that are limiting us, we're thinking about our past, not our present. So the people that I attract, these are literally people that are, I'm mind-boggling because I quit my job when I was earning 45K a year, right? I'm attracting people that's earning six figures that got multiple doctor's degrees and master's degrees, and they're scared to charge $3,000. I'm like, what?
Wow.
So, and what I help them do is one, get clear on what their goal is, and then two, like all of the experiences that they've had, everything that they've been through. And then when they get clear, I have something called the 3 Ps. There's just like, who's the person you want to help, the problem you want to fix for them, and a promise you want to make them. So if I were to use myself as an example, and I help them use their example, like once they put it on paper, like for me, I help people that are overworked and underpaid with advanced degrees grow a profitable coaching business, right? That's who I help, right? These are people, they want to spend more time with their family. They want to enjoy the quality of life. But right now, the problem they have is they don't know where to start. They don't know how much to charge. They don't know how to do any marketing. And they don't think people are going to pay them. So they're stuck in that rat race, just going around in circles. My promise is to them, after working with me for 3 to 6 months, like, yo, you have a coaching program you could confidently charge $3,000 to $10,000 for, working 50% less and enjoying the time you want with your family. When I finally put that on paper, I'm like, yo, that's worth a lot. When I put on paper all of the money that I put into school, I'm like, that's worth a lot. When I think about the time I'm going to spend with them so they could get that result, that's a lot. But most people don't consider that when they're starting off in business. They're just like, yo, I just want to help people. But they're not really thinking about everything that's going to go into helping them and what that person is going to receive at the opposite end of their service, because people pay for results, not your time.
Facts. And I think that's the thing that most people forget is that people are paying with the results and not the time. And it's also the thing that you most of the time you have to realize and make people understand when you are telling them something, when it either ever is a pricing difference or pricing discussion. It's like, we're paying for the result. What's the result? What's the outcome? If I help you do this, how many sales does that bring you? I tell people, if we start producing content at scale and you start getting publications, people start asking you to be on podcasts, you're getting reposted, people are going and buying your products, joining your email list. What is something like that really worth in the long run? So just the realization of that is heavy. It's heavy. So I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you.
And just to add on there, like some of my clients, they help people with their marriages. I'm just like, yo, what would you pay to make your husband never want to leave you? What would you pay to never be in an argument again? Like there's somebody that's right now about to go through a divorce, but if they come across you, no divorce fees, plus I have an intimate relationship with my husband, I'll pay almost anything. So literally thinking about what it would cost them to not work with you makes it easier for you to charge what you're worth.
No facts.
Yeah, and it's an interesting way to look at it for sure.
Facts.
Yeah.
Did you have anything, Victoria? Again, I don't want to steal a shot.
Oh,
I got a
no,
knack
you're
for
good,
stealing
John.
time.
No, you're good,
I
John.
just so be going. You so soft, I'm like, I don't want to steal a shot.
No, I'm good. Go ahead, Jha.
No, Ben, I'm really coming to a close, man. You gave us so much in this amount of time, and I'm really fortunate to have somebody like you in the arena of coaching, just showing somebody that spent 10, 12 years on a degree that they can actually be worth more than what they actually went to school all these years for. And just one more thing before we go and leave it on that note. If I am that person that spent 10, 12, 15 years getting a degree. I done went through the whole process. I done made it to a certain level in my career, but I am thinking about coaching. How can I get in contact with you and where can I find you in order to kind of indulge and talk more with you?
Oh yeah. You could definitely find me on Instagram at Ben Bakayoko, and you can find me on the same handle on Facebook. And my website is benbakcoaching.com.
No, for sure, for sure, for sure. Ben, well, again, thank you for being on. Victoria, thank you for joining me as usual. But that's going to be it from me, guys. So if you have any questions or if you want to learn more about the Connections Hub podcast, be sure to subscribe and send us a direct message. But that's going to be all, and talk to you guys soon.